more news on another corporate titan, Conrad Black. He may be free from jail, but he cannot go home to Canada, at least not yet. That was the decision today in a Chicago court hearing as one of the more infamous corporate titans fought for his freedom. Conrad Black, the former chairman of Hollinger International, sent to prison in 2007 for stealing millions from his company. Sue Keenan has more on the latest with Conrad Black. Sue?
Well, as you said, he can't go home to Canada. He posted bail earlier in the week, signed the release papers just before the top of the hour, and the judge deferred until August 16th the decision on whether he could go home to Canada. Now, Black was freed from a Florida federal prison Wednesday after serving 2 years of a 6.5-year sentence. Actually, there were 2 concurrent sentences for defrauding Hollinger International investors of more than $6 million. He is the first white-collar criminal who's been helped by a new Supreme Court ruling. Of course, there could be others. There was a catch, though. While bail was granted and bond was set at $2 million by a Wall Street friend, Black was ordered not to leave the country until appearing in court today to hear conditions of his release. What does that mean? Well, the crush of cameras surrounding Black's return to his Palm Beach mansion that you saw earlier this week was duplicated today outside the Chicago courtroom. Our reporter on the scene said there was at least 40 reporters outside the courtroom as Black left, again, just before the top of the hour with his wife, Barbara. He was tight-lipped, he had a smile, but he did not speak, nor did his attorney speak, and they took off in a black limousine. Apparently, the judge was presented with a financial paper by Black. No one knows at this point how much money he still has here in the U.S., but the judge said it wasn't complete. She wants to see more details about his assets before she rules August 16th on his ability to go back to Canada. And there is, again, the possibility that these other convictions may or may not be set aside, Lori.
And that's, Sue, where this Supreme Court decision could help.
Absolutely. The Supreme Court found that the honest services law used to convict him was too vague and broad. But beyond his criminal appeal, Black still has a full legal plate. The IRS wants almost $71 million in unpaid taxes and penalties. The SEC has sued him, claiming he and the former company president stole $85 million from the company. And to stay free, he must convince the federal appeals court in Chicago that his fraud and obstruction charges should be voided. Now, that Supreme Court ruling limited prosecutors' use of the law that was used to convict him, saying it should really be used for cases involving bribery or kickbacks. Black wasn't accused of either, as you may recall.
So then what are his chances of getting free and clear of this?
Well, in the view of one former assistant U.S. attorney, Jeffrey Kramer, there's a strong possibility he does go back to jail. At the very least, he says, the obstruction of justice charge will likely stand. You may recall jurors found Black tried to hide documents. The judge could send him back to serve the rest of his sentence. That is, again, a separate 6.5-year sentence that was being served concurrently. And even if Black succeeds in getting all his convictions overturned, prosecutors do have the option of retrying him. So that's the latest on Black's appearance in court today.
Sue Keenan, now here's a Bloomberg Extra on Conrad Black. The born and bred Canadian decided to renounce his citizenship in June 2001. He did this to accept a lifetime seat in Britain's House of Lords. Canada law prevents such a position. Black then entitled himself Lord Black of Cross Harbour after a subway station in London near a newspaper he used to own called the Daily Telegraph. Might have heard of it.